going on, lads? It's your host, the Commissioner. Welcome to another edition of Commissioner's Corner. Um, kind of did like a little mini recap thingy at the end of the last one because it was so late, so that kind of cuts into a little bit of obviously what this is about. But without further ado, as you already know, 7 to 12, I am on the predictions, so it's by 500, but still not the best with Snow Bunnies coming out swinging 5 out of 6, setting you boys up pretty well to beat me. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But let's just get right into the predictions because this is where the teams are gonna start separating a little bit. We're gonna get some different like standings. It's not just 1-0 or 0-1 or 2-0, 0-2, 1-1, obviously. But we're gonna see a little more middle because right now there's the top teams that are undefeated, there's the bottom teams that haven't won, and then there's just a big old chunk in the middle. So every week's important, but this is a big one. So without further ado, I'm just gonna get right into it. Captain Commish versus Coys. I think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be slugfest. I gotta go with me per usual. I think it's honestly going to be a pretty high scoring event. I think we both got pretty decent matchups here. Nothing really points out. I mean, like Dallas is good, so that could hurt Lamar, but they haven't really been playing like that stud Dallas defense we saw last year. So we'll see. Likely did put up a stinker last week, I believe, but his week one still has him at tight end one. So there's that. And I just like I'm not gonna make the same mistake as last week. I got Pollard in the lineup. James Cook, ETN. ETN's been slow for your boy, but I got faith he'll stick it out. He'll pull through. I'm waiting on a big George Pickens game. It's not that he was bad last week, but he was pretty bad last week, and I can't be having 4.9. He's the only option out there really, aside from like the tight end. I'd like to see a little bit more action from the boy. That's just me personally. So there's definitely some things I'm scared of. Obviously, Mark Andrews, had an okay week. By okay meaning he got me 9 points. But it's just been really weird passing this season where with the stinker he put up week 1 with 3 points and then a 9-point week. The next week he's tight end 14 apparently. That's all it takes. Sad, sad world we got. And I've learned my lesson. Pollard is running back 12. He hasn't given me less than 15 yet. I'm sorry. He's starting. So I think that's going to be a close one. Obviously, I'm going myself, but Coyce has an argument. Let's get into a team that I could be non-biased with, and let's go Team Riggy Riggs versus Team Touch of Downs. So this one's a wild one. Riggy Riggs getting himself a W against me hurts. And Touchdowns, who's coming off a dub, but is, he's Michael. He talks his talk, and he seems to be a team. Focus in. Seems to be a team that a lot of other teams want to beat. So there's that. Anyway, matchup wise, I actually really like Team Riggy Riggs's. Not that, like, for example, Washington, their defense can make Daniel Jones look good. So give me Joe Burrow. Let me take that. I think he's gonna have a big old game. The Houston matchups are tough for like Aaron Jones, but Aaron Jones has seemed quite resilient, and I mean, not the best week in the world last week, but only 9 rushes too, so kind of odd. Maybe they're resting him for this big old game, but that's Aaron Jones, though. I mean, anyone who's drafted Aaron Jones before will tell you, like, he's in games as many games as he misses, so he's very hot, cold player, and when he plays, it's usually great. So I'll still take him over Houston. Diggs against Minnesota, I think that's a good matchup. Their secondary isn't that great. Travis Kelce's got to start doing something, dude. He's been a bum this year for sure. 6 points week 1 and 1 point week 2. God. Tight end 28. That's tough because you know you got him really early. On the other hand, again, Pat Mahomes versus Atlanta, I don't see a problem with that. That could be pretty fine. The Denver matchup's great for your running backs, the Bucks. Right now, I am filming during halftime, a little past halftime of the Jets Patriots game, but I had these written down before the game, so whatever, whatever. I really like the Adams matchup against Carolina. Obviously, anybody you play them against Carolina, and he's been crushing, so I think that's going to be a sick play. Again, I love Gardner Minshew fantasy-wise and the wide receivers that come with it. That's why I was so big on Michael Pittman last year, is because Gardner Minshew is a true gunslinger. I'm not saying he's great. I'm not saying he's top tier. He's just a gunslinger, meaning he throws that damn thing. Doesn't care if he cares if it gets picked off, but it doesn't stop him from he's got to take a shot. You know what I mean? So it's great for fantasy wide receivers because they get the targets, they get the deep shots, they get all of it. Michael Pittman is a stud all around wide receiver. I think with Anthony Richardson, he suffers heavily, just like everybody else in that offense. But Anthony Richardson, I don't believe will be healthy the whole year. Neither here nor there. Anyway, after that tangent, yeah, I like Adams, and obviously I like the Vegas defense against the Carolina offense. That being said, Reggie Riggs is coming off a big old dubski against me. His birthday's coming around the corner. Give me the birthday boy. Give me Team Reggie Riggs to edge out Michael in a close one. Moving on, we have Allen DeGenerates versus Love Hurts. This one I was quite torn on because, again, I started filming halftime. Aaron Rodgers looked hot. He's probably going to have a great scoring week. If he's torching up the Patriots, no problemo. So trying to be like kind of pretending I don't know that here, looking at the team now. I'll be straight up with you. I had Love Hurts written down. I just think Jerome Ford, I'm just being honest, is going to, run all over the Giants. His wide receivers are great. Kittle is, yeah, tight end 3. He's performing well of the monster tight ends. Him and, like, Trey McBride are the ones that are, like, living up to the draft area. The question is, can Allen's team win if he gets good quarterback play? And it looks like he's going to get at least one quarterback that's going to give him some solid numbers. It's tough because looking at it now, I would like to lock in Allen. I'm not going to, though. I'm going to stick with the guns before the game. Love Hurts is my pick for that. Yeah, I got to stick with Love Hurts, sadly. Next, we got Swift Swallows versus Half Chubb. Again, Half Chubb's got Brees Hall, who's playing, and crushing, having a pretty good game so far. Excuse me. Having a pretty good game so far. And luckily for me, I had Half Chubb written. Hell yeah. So that's looking good for me. The only thing I don't really like is the Herbert versus Pittsburgh. I feel like that's a weird matchup. I like Kamara versus Philly. I like Ayuk. Zay Flowers could be kind of tough. We'll see. Zach Moss versus Washington. I love. On Swiss Swallow side, Baker Mayfield's been straight up crushing, so I'm not counting him out. I just don't think he's going to be winning you too many games. He's going to win you some games, though, because that's just Baker Mayfield. Saquon, obviously stud. Najee Harris is interesting because he looked so much better week 1. So now is it like back to the old Najee? If that's the case, you got yourself a handcuff, brother. I feel like it's a rite of passage for fantasy that everyone has to go through the curse of Najee Harris at least once. So have fun with that if that's the case. Tyreek Hill again, but I don't know what the situation with the Tua thing is, so that leaves me question marks. Rashee Rice is great. Yeah, I got to go with Half Chubb here. It looks like Half Chubb's really turning this program around. That's what he's done. He's done being the laughing stock of the league. He's ready to turn a new leaf, and hats off to you. See you give a newcomer a welcome to the league moment. Next up, we got Baked Vet versus Middleburg football team. Now, Middleburg football team. This is interesting because Middleburg football team is we're going into week 3, so we've only played 2 games, and he has a plus minus differential of minus 100 something. Already triple digit. Already triple digit. Plus minus. That's kind of tough. Al's a gamer though. I know he's gonna pull through. I'm not Al. Shots that damn. Rest in peace, dude. Sorry, Al. You just caught a stray. I'm not talking to Al. Al just had a string of bad luck, and I already talked about Al. Yada yada yada. Had a little smoke. You know what I'm saying? Before the vid. So if you can't see it in the eyes, maybe you hear it in the lies. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So Middleburg football team's having a rough go. Opposite of last year, where he was storming out the gates. He was squeaking out really low scoring game wins last year. It's not seeming this way. He's keeping the low scoring. He's keeping that, but he's not getting the win part. So that's tough. Yeah, that being said, I got baked vet. I just Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I gave Tanner little beans with snow bunnies on confiding with the commish. So I'm not gonna drill it. But again, Aaron Rodgers is looking good. Maybe he gets a big Garrett Wilson game in the second half. Who knows? Baked Vet's just got a good team. He's got a good team. HA's been playing banana sandwich. Hurts, I'm always confident. Well, he's not quite Josh Allen-esque, but you're like if Hurts gets you 15, you're like, come on, you know what I mean? So I already kind of talked about Pittman a little bit. It's tough because he's so good, but it's like in this offense, is he a good fantasy? Is he fantasy relevant? As much as NFL relevant. He's got Johnson, who he just received in a trade, who is it's wild because why would you want a Carolina Panthers player on your team right now? I don't know, but you trade for one and you're starting him, so that's tough. Zach Ertz has been balling. He's having a little, he's having a little comeback moment. So good on the old man. Matt Stafford has been leaving quite a bit to be desired. So that's kind of hurting Steve. What else is hurting you is New York Giants starting defense. I hate it. This team is until they show me something. No, just because we should always beat Washington, dude. And we didn't even do that. That's where we're at this year. So I wouldn't start a Giants player unless his name is Malik Neighbors and Daniel Jones in this format, I suppose. But rarely. If it's Washington, Daniel Jones. If it's not Washington, steer clear. Which apparently good on you, Middleburg football team, for being in agreement with that and starting my man's Gardner Minshew. Well done. I just got to go. Kincaid isn't enough to sway me. You know what I mean? Like Dallas D, they're 10th, but it's not like the Dallas D that we've been seeing the past few years. I'm really happy to see you started Shaheed. He's been on your bench, and I'm in another league with you, and he's been on your bench in that one as well. So good on you for, putting him in there. Way to go. But yeah, give me Baked Vet. Last but not least, we have your cousin Marvin versus Snow Bunnies. Your cousin Marvin coming in 2-0, hot, talking his talk. He's thinking he's gonna run the stuff. He's in the chat nonstop. And someone has to say, hey, simmer down. The porridge is done. Let it cool a little bit. You know what I mean? Snow Bunnies, the champ, the current champion. Who better? Who better to take down your cousin Marvin right now? Who is sprung? He's sprung up on himself, dude. The champ. The champ. Give me the champ. I don't even care about the rest of it. I know the champ's going to win. Snow Bunnies will be 2-1, as well as your cousin Marvin. Give me the champ. So, like I already talked about a little bit, moving on here. Let me run back. So, I got Captain Commish. I got Riggy Riggs. I got Love Hurts. I got Half Chub. I got Baked Vet. I got Snow Bunnies. I just want to say that back because it's easier for me to remember the teams. I can just go back and watch the video and be like, okay, those were my picks. because with betting and looking at all these other leagues, you forget. You forget. So yeah, so I was looking at the point differential a little bit, and just like my heart really does be going out to Al a little bit because of what he went through last season, and now it's kind of a little bit more of the same. He's getting the most points scored on him while still putting up a good share. It's like deja vu for the boy. I just want to say that, but this year it's kind of the same as like Middleburg football team situation. This year, you haven't scraped that dub yet. So I don't know, man. I just that quarterback situation. I think that's the only thing that's killing. But injuries will happen. You got your waiver money. You know what to do with it. And then yeah, Middleburg football team point differential is the other thing that I definitely want to point it out that I wanted to point out, but already did. Couple other things in the league. There was a trade that I spoke on a little bit. It was Al receives Keenan Allen. Baked Vet receives Deontay Johnson and Blake Corum. I like the Blake Corum snag. I like it. So you got your little handcuff right there. I like that. And honestly, this year I'm not like uber concerned about Keenan Allen, and then Al gets his little pair. I think this was a extremely fair trade. Like straight, I got nothing, no quarrels with this. I think it helps both teams. Aside Deontay Johnson, I don't know. Starting a Panther, dude, right now is tough. It's chaos over there. But yeah, so that's that. That's the news on the league. So going forward on the Survivor League, which I touched on a little bit, only 4 teams left. That's kind of crazy. We fancy ourselves gamblers, boys. So we got to get that together next year. Those teams are myself, Touch of Downs, Middlebury football team. The guy who gambles the least in this league is he's holding it down for you fellas, and Snow Bunnies. So only 4 left. I'm not gonna say my team because this will get out before Sunday. I don't need none of y'all riding my coattails. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, we got the Pick'ems, Jartasm, aka your cousin Marvin, aka your favorite lawyer's favorite lawyer. He's leading the pack with 15. And in last place is the newcomer Swift Swallows at 10. So that's where we're at, lads. This has been an episode of Commissioner's Corner. Hope we have all a good week, except for Coys. I need you to have quite the stinker. That's it, boys. Have a good one.